Welcome everyone to week number 2 and day 8 of the Sewing Room Declutter Challenge. I'm Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts, and together we are going to clear out the unwelcome, the unwanted, and the no longer necessary to make space for a year full of creativity, clarity, and joy. Last week, we removed the garbage and the paper clutter and began to work with the capacity of our sewing room. This week, we will continue that strategy, but now we're going to focus on the tools in our space. And tools come with one extra layer of decision making, and that is function. And today we are starting off with the tools that disappear more magically than any other: our scissors, our snips, and our rotary cutters. And step 1, as always, is to set your timer. Before you touch any tools, be sure you've turned this on. Whether it's 10 minutes, 15, 20, choose a realistic interval of time that works with your day. This will keep you focused and prevent decision fatigue. And when the timer goes off, you stop and take a break. And step 2 is defining your capacity. Now, defining the capacity for your tools is a little bit trickier than last week, as tools are being actively used and in several locations. So collect up all your scissors, all your snips, all your rotary cutters from all over your sewing space. And seeing them together can be pretty darn eye-opening.
And step 3 is to declutter.
And the question for you today is, do I use it here? So there's 2 parts to that question. The first part is, do you use it? And it's not can you use it, it means do you actually use it here? And the second part is the here. Do you use it here? Do you use it over there? Or maybe it's an extra set that your kids or your partner comes in and borrows. Now, if you have been sewing for many years, you're going to find a lot of cutting tools. Most likely you have tried different grips to see what's comfortable, especially if you're a lefty. You have probably experimented with blade sizes and different cutting systems, collected tools that are beautiful or antique. Maybe you inherited some from family or friends. And you probably also found some good deals at garage sales, thrift stores, and quilt shows. Scissors and rotary cutters also often travel to another table, to another room, to a retreat, and they don't always make it back home. And when we can't find them, what do? We buy another, and then maybe another. It's only by bringing everything together that we can see where the duplications in our tools are. And when I say bring them together, I mean by space. If you have a long arm downstairs or you have a sewing spot near your TV, you just repeat this exercise there. My home setup is lean and mean and perfectly set up, so I'm doing it in the studio today. So what do you actually use each of these tools for? For example, this pair and this pair are both shears, but this is a lightweight pair and this is a carbon steel. And these are for heavy-duty work as they slice through leather like butter. These rotary cutters are the same size, but they have different blades. And all these snips do exactly the same job. Next, it's all about location. Where in your sewing space do you actually use them? It makes sense that specialty scissors go with the craft where you use them. But also, we do the same job in multiple locations. Like, you're going to want a pair of these snips for your sewing machine, your cutting station, and your ironing space. At home, my sewing machine is right next to my cutting table, so I only need 1 pair there. But I also put an extra one on the front of my long arm and the back of my long arm, because I need them in both spots. And I want a full set of rotary cutters, one of each size of blade, both here and at home. And now I'm looking at it, I think these pinking shears I'm going to take home as well. Having duplications is perfectly fine, as long as they're used in different locations. And don't hesitate to mark your tools with washi tape, so when you're at retreat, where there's a lot of tools that look alike, yours are going to find their way home. Step 4, remove everything that doesn't make the cut from your space. So tools that are in good shape but are duplications, you can move them to a retreat kit or a sewing on the go kit. Or do you know a new quilter that would appreciate them? If not, let them go to your local charity shop. And don't forget, with rotary cutters, there are rotary blades, which more than likely also need a declutter. I have gathered all of mine from my home, from the studio, from all my kits, and I can see that there's some old ones that I need to deal with. Dull blades can sometimes be sharpened, and I showed you in this short here. And I'll also leave a link where you can buy your own. Blades with nicks should be discarded, as well as the sizes that you no longer use. Old blades can be recycled with metal. Just be sure to wrap them in paper, place them in a tin can, and label it clearly. If your scissors are dull, add a note to your brain dump to contact the manufacturer for directions on how to get them sharpened. Maintenance matters, but only for the tools that you actually use. And one last word about packaging. You might hear that scissors should stay in their box or their bag. The logic might be that if they're in their box, they're less likely to get damaged. But this is the truth. The more steps you put between yourself and your tools, the less likely you are to use them. And more importantly, the less likely you are to put them back. So yes, declutter the packaging. Handling your tools is going to bring up all sorts of ideas of projects you want to make, or remind you of projects that you've used them on, or remind you of projects that you need to finish. So grab your ideas, write them down in your brain dump, and let them go. And I also cannot find a really cute pair of purple snips that I got at Quilt Canada this year. So that's going on my list to keep my eye open for them. And don't forget to spend at least 5 minutes on your Declutter Challenge project. I have managed to get these 6 beauties done. After last week, I hope you're feeling more confident saying no. Remember, if you find something that has you spiraling, call your declutter buddy or ask the Facebook group for help. By popular demand, we now have handouts for these daily challenges, as well as a suggested list of videos that go with the challenge. There is a link in the video notes below. You'll also find a link on the daily newsletter and blog. And if you are still on day number 2, that's okay. You move at your own pace to get to the finish line. So now it's your time to share. How many scissors, snips, and rotary cutters did you find in your space? Did anything surprise you? Post a photo online or share it in the comments below using this year's hashtag so we can cheer you on. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow for day number 9, where we continue to work through our tools, one thoughtful category at a time.